The story begins with Dark Lord Claudine. He gathered his top generals, known as the Big Four, and together they attacked the Catalan kingdom. The battle went on for 7 days and nights, and it was a big fight. But in the end, a brave hero named Jed managed to reach Claudine. Jed walked into a big room where Claudine was sitting comfortably on his fancy chair. Claudine greeted Jed warmly and started talking. He made fun of Jed, saying that Jed's kingdom had left him all alone to fight and hinted that he was abandoned. Jed didn't want to waste time talking, so he quickly charged at Claudine with a powerful attack involving lightning. Claudine defended himself and tried to use a magic attack, but Jed dodged it. They had a short conversation before Claudine paused to show off his fighting skills. He even offered Jed a spot in his army, but Jed declined. Claudine thought Jed was fighting for the good of all people, but Jed surprised him by confessing that he wanted some treasure and the princess who was captured. You see, when Jed was a child, someone told him that if he defeated the Dark Lord and rescued the princess, he would become rich and marry the princess. This story inspired Jed, so he used his family's money to become a hero and go on this adventure. After sharing his backstory, Jed told Claudine to stop talking and just be a part of his success story. He attacked the Dark Lord again, with a determined look in his eyes, thinking about the treasure and the beautiful princess he was about to rescue. The Dark Lord began to doubt if Jed was really a hero because he didn't seem noble at all. Jed suddenly gained more power and quickly defeated Claudine. During the fight, Jed had a vision of meeting the princess after his victory. He took the Dark Lord's weapon and went to the dungeon to save the princess. But when he opened the cell, he was surprised to find Prince Ruda instead of a princess. The prince tried to thank him, but Jed wasn't interested. He assured the prince that he did it for the kingdom and gave him a teleportation scroll before leaving. Ruda smiled mischievously as Jed disappeared. Back in his room, Jed was frustrated with the Dark Lord for abducting a prince and ruining his dream. He consoled himself with the thought that he had defeated the kingdom's main enemy and decided to live out his fantasy by playing his favorite heroic video game, where there was always a princess to save. Meanwhile, Ruda returned to the kingdom, and his sister Elda was overjoyed to see him safe. Although the king was also happy, he seemed a bit uneasy when Ruda revealed that he had discovered something interesting that night. In another part of the story, Jaina had a dream in which Claudine saved her and gave her a new purpose after her village was burned down. Jaina suddenly woke up from her dream where Jed had defeated Claudine. She was so angry that she threw a knife at a board with Jed's picture on it. This board revealed that the Big Four had helped the Dark Lord become very powerful by uniting the North, but they had lost to Jed one after the other, which led to their breakup. Jaina had strong feelings for Claudine and wanted revenge, so she concealed her identity and went to the Catalan kingdom. Before leaving for the day, she said goodbye to a picture of Claudine and a rock, as if they were like family to her. She also scowled at Jed's picture and promised herself that she would find him. Jaina went to work at a maid cafe, where she struck cute poses that excited the customers. She had been working there for 3 months. Initially, her goal was to gather information about Mr. Hero and save enough money to buy back Claudine's wand. Jed had sold it, and the shop was selling it for a hefty $70,000. Jaina had managed to collect that much money but still hadn't found any leads on Jed. One day, to her surprise, Mr. Hero visited their cafe. Jaina was shocked to see him in such an open place, as she had thought he would be protected as an important person. The hero, Jed, didn't recognize Jaina, but she was anxious, thinking he might have figured out who she was. During their interaction, Jed was simply impressed with how well she played her role as the best maid in the kingdom. Jaina had to address her arch-enemy as master as part of her survival strategy. She even had to take a cute picture with him, which drove her crazy. Jed left the cafe as a satisfied customer, while Jaina remained puzzled that he didn't recognize her. As he walked home, a spy from the kingdom watched from a building across the street. This spy, known as Code, had taken pictures of Jed and Jaina appearing to interact in a friendly manner. He couldn't believe that the Big Four were now on Jed's radar. While keeping an eye on Jed, Code moved through the alleyways to report his findings to the king. Along the way, he encountered a hooded person with a camera and assumed they were part of another unit. Code found this newcomer's bulky build suspicious and decided to watch. He witnessed the hooded person suddenly leap in front of a lady and toss her an outfit that magically fit her perfectly. Then, this person switched into paparazzi mode, taking pictures of her. The same thing happened to all the ladies in the area. People began to confront this mysterious individual, which caused their hood to fall off, revealing that this strange person was one of the Big Four. His name was Pag, and now he was exposed. Pag was a seasoned photographer who had a strong obsession with capturing pictures of magical women dressed in battle uniforms. During a previous battle against the kingdom, he defeated the finest female knight from the Rose Order. He used this victory to create a photo album of the Rose Order, which became incredibly popular. Maria, the captain of the Royal Order Quivers, was furious when she saw one of the magazines featuring her on the front page, courtesy of Pag. She slammed her desk in frustration, vowing to take him down. Being in the spotlight as a knight was humiliating for her, and the fan letters pouring in only added to her irritation. To make matters worse, one of her subordinates brought even more fan mail, further fueling her anger. She looked out of her window and vowed to find and confront Pag. Meanwhile, during this chaotic interval, Jed had a relaxing day at home, humming with joy as he hung up a framed picture of himself with Jane. However, his peaceful atmosphere was disrupted by a frantic knock on the door. He decided to open it, and was surprised to see Pag. Jed tried to close the door when he saw him, but Pag blocked the entrance and begged him not to be rude. Pag explained that he was being hunted by the people of Catalan and needed a place to hide for a while. Jed wanted to know why Pag always turned to him when he was on the run. Pag tried to pull a fast one and claimed that they were old friends, but this was the first time Jed had heard of such a friendship. The demon tried to use a scar left by Jed's previous attack to guilt trip him, but Jed reminded him that they had been enemies at the time and didn't see it as a valid excuse to let him stay. However, Jed eventually fell for Pag's plea and allowed him inside, with a warning that this would be the last time. He told Pag to take a shower since he had been running around all day, and mentioned that there was food in the fridge. Jed even set up the game console for them to play later. Pag appreciated Jed's consistent hospitality, but got visibly upset when he spotted a cute picture of Jed and Jaina in the house. Pag had a picture with Jaina, and the demon took a closer look at it. Finally, he recognized her as someone familiar, although he couldn't quite figure out who she was. Unbeknownst to Jed, the spy submitted his report along with pictures of the hero interacting with two members of the Big Four in what seemed like a friendly way. When the king learned about this news, he became extremely angry. The spy also mentioned that these pictures were taken earlier in the day. The king grew worried when the spy revealed that Prince Ruda had ordered the hero to be followed. He wondered if his mischievous son was trying to deceive them into harming the hero. Joey, the chief minister, quickly jumped to conclusions. He believed that the hero must have colluded with the Dark Lord's army. He had always doubted that Jed had defeated the Dark Lord and the Big Four by himself. The chief minister even speculated that Claudine's death might have been faked as part of this wicked collaboration. These ideas began to resonate with the king, and Joey saw this as an opportunity to take action. The monarch ordered all their knights to arrest Jed, Jaina, and Pag. He also mentioned that the next day at sunset, they would execute another member of the Big Four named Rock, who was currently in their custody. That night, Rock was visited by Ruda. After swiftly dealing with the guards, Ruda offered to help Rock escape and resurrect the Dark Lord's army. He was even willing to use Rock as a captured noble. However, Rock was not interested and informed Ruda that he had failed. This response irritated Ruda, who activated his shadow-like powers and moved toward Rock, reminding him of his promise. But Rock, the defeated elite, simply stated that he couldn't do anything on his own without Claudie. The prince smiled and revealed that he would find another way to achieve his goal without Rock, bidding him farewell. Meanwhile, Jed and Pag were engrossed in playing video games. When the hero inquired about someone named Lord Invictus, who was one of the Big Four, Pag disclosed that Lord Invictus was actually Rock. He explained that Rock was the eldest son of the Sword family and was incredibly strong. Pag had also heard that Rock had a younger sister who was even stronger. This brings an end to our episode. If you enjoyed it, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe our channel. Keep supporting and see you soon.